I liked it. Yes,
Yeah, this group.
it was really good.
I'd like to hear the rest of their songs, but not tonight.
No,
They've got a whole album next, I think.
Well, we gotta get some of Elise's opinions on, Trump's picks so far this week, or the status of the Democratic Party, which seems to be. Felix and I are both in agreement. Wait! I had my mute thing on again, and I don't know if anybody heard me.
Lisa,
but
ask Lisa. Did you hear Mark at all?
It sounds like he was far away.
Yeah, well, that's because you probably heard me through Felix's mic. That's why. But
yeah.
Felix and I are in agreement that the Democratic Party is in,
deep caca.
disarray. They really got to get it together if they have any hopes in 2018 of protecting the seats that are coming up in the Senate and maybe getting a few more seats. There are only about 8 Republican seats coming up for election, so they really have to concentrate on saving what they have.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they have coming up. Well, actually, in the House, all of them are up because it's an even number, so they're all up. But they got to look to make some gains if they hope to regain the White House. But I will say one thing. If Trump can get the economy going, he's talking about massive public works programs and things of that nature. If he can put people back to work and stimulate the economy, I don't think if you put John Kennedy up against him in 2020. I don't even think that John Kennedy could defeat Trump, So, if he could make good on some of his promises, so we'll see what happens.
Now, here, I don't know if you heard it, but this is really good news. Ford decided not to go to Mexico and
Yeah, but did you hear what followed that?
What?
Trump made it seem like Ford was moving their whole plant in Kentucky. Ford was only moving a minor part of their plant to Mexico, not... The bulk of the plant was staying in Kentucky.
But they were building a new plant there. They're building new cars there. Now they're not doing it.
But not to the effect that Trump wanted everybody to believe. Trump made it seem in his announcement, and even Republican people said this. He made it seem like, the whole plant was closing down and moving to Mexico because they were getting this great.
But you're not following me. They were going to build a new car and hire a lot of people in Mexico. Now they're going to build a new car here.
But that's all right. But that's only one car as opposed to the many cars that they make. So that's only like a little part of.
It's going to. It's 2 plants that are going to stay fully open.
Well.
And also, Apple now is studying the possibilities of making the iPhones in the States instead of China. They started a study when Trump won the election, and now in China they got.
I think that's what we need. I mean, we definitely need these companies to start producing and manufacturing back here in the States. I mean, that's what people really want. I mean,
but when
I was in promotional products, when I was doing promotional products, and I would get my customers and clients calling, like they would ask me, this particular shirt, the materials, where is it coming from? I only want made in the USA shirts, and we didn't really have it. I mean, everything was made in either Pakistan or China, all the way out there. And, a lot of people just want American quality.
But they don't want to pay for it because there's going to be more money.
Well, the first one who started that kick was Lee Iacocca back in the 70s. When, he kept saying, buy American first. And then they started with... the song "Look for the Union Label" from the Garment Workers Union,
Yeah.
You know, all that started back in the 70s. You know.
Right.
Now, the just so you understand something, I don't think Apple will ever be able to move the production lines here for the iPhone. They've got about 600,000 people working the production line in China. They have a plant that hires 300,000 people. They provide the housing for the people. All the stores are there. It's all enclosed. They have parks there. You just live at the plant and you work at the plant.
Well, you see, that's what...
I don't think that's going to happen here.
Look,
to a certain extent...
You're not going to get every company to come back.
To a
it's
certain...
just not going to happen.
To a certain extent, that's what the Japanese have. You know, when you work for a company, okay, you're living in, like Felix just said, they made building complexes and you have an apartment. They have any store you could possibly need is right there at your beck and call. They build schools, roads.
Well, when you have 300,000 people working in one plant, that's a city.
Well, like Starrett City in Brooklyn, if you think of...
Starrett City does not have 300,000 people.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, I know.
When you think of Starrett City was one of the first experiments back in the 60s, late 60s into the early 70s, of a community within a community where they built elementary and junior high schools. The kids still went to the local high school, but they had, they built up Brookdale Hospital in this area of Brooklyn, okay, to accommodate the people and everything. You know, they had medical facilities, shopping.
But didn't they, wasn't Co-op City the first thing that was like that?
Well, Co-ops, in the Bronx. That was the first. That was the very first. And then because of their success, Starrett City opened up. But after that, you haven't seen any. It's just the two of them,
Well, either way, to have 300,000 people working, I mean, you'd have to bring people in from a lot of different states and find an area where you can build a plant that big. You're talking about building a new city.
That's talking a lot of money if you got to first build a plant. I mean, what about all these abandoned warehouses that they can use? I mean, build them back up.
I know, but they don't.
You got the land. You got the building already built. Once you
basically that's
shovel in the ground. Isn't that millions of dollars to
Well, I almost hate to say this, but that's what Trump did with the Javits Center. Okay, they were closed up railways, Long Island Railroad or Metro North, whatever it was, and abandoned warehouses and everything. And Trump took it over and he built the convention center. And it wasn't at a loss. That was one of the things that he managed, that came out in his campaigning, that he basically saved that area for New York,
And the ice skating ring, he saved that. You know about that one?
The sky ring?
The ice skating ring.
You talking about the sky ring?
What?
Central Park?
No, the one in Brooklyn. No, not Central Park. The one in Rockefeller Center.
Well, Central Park is the one in
Rockefeller Center.
Well, yeah.
Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Somebody else was building it. It wasn't getting done. Then they put the wrong pipes to make the ice, and they hired a company from Florida to build a ice skate ring in New York. It didn't make no sense.
Well, it did when they moved hockey to Florida and Los Angeles,
Anyway, so finally Trump came to the city. He goes, "Why don't you just let me finish it? I'll finish it within this amount of time and under budget." and he finished in like half the time what the other did, under budget, saved the city money, and got it rolling fast. Yeah, he's known for that.
That's true.
So, and to him, he's rebuilding the country. It's another project. But it's not a simple project.
You know what? He's good at building things. If he can rebuild this country, if he can save this country, God bless him. Was it you, Mark, that I said yesterday that he could shock us all? I mean, he's good in business. We can see he's a good businessman. I mean, if he's got the potential, then let him do it. Let him prove it. He's got to prove. I'm giving him 1 year to prove to himself.
Well, and like Mark said, he has I think he's a good judge of character. He sort of doesn't want to hear spiel, right? You're talking about the way he judges character. He just observes them and watches them.
Well, yeah. I was telling Felix, before you came on, that he doesn't respect somebody who, from the time he meets them, starts sort of listing their resume, like Rudy Giuliani did, because he was trying to convince Trump that he'd make a good Secretary of State. Trump is like the old saying, "I'm from Missouri, show me what you could do. Don't tell me, show me." Action speaks louder than words.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's truthfully the way to be.
No, there is nothing wrong with that.
Me too.
I mean, Giuliani said, "I've been to 80 countries since I left the mayor's office in New York." Well, I mean, that just tells me that he traveled a lot. That's all. It doesn't tell me anything else.
Right.
But anyway, I mean, look, we know Giuliani's going to get a spot in the administration. He did too much for Trump not to.
Well, he was the most loyal of all of them. Christie had his own problems with Bridgegate, so he had to take a back seat. And Giuliani was out there on every program to the point where literally I thought a couple of times with all his yelling and screaming, the man was going to have a heart attack. He defended him with the Hollywood tape, and he defended him when all these women came out and said various things about Trump. So what can I tell you?
Also, Newt Gingrich was really a big supporter of his.
But I think Newt figures that he stands more of a chance of getting on the Sunday talk shows if he's not connected with Trump's administration, really.
Well, Newt said he doesn't want a position.
Well, he's smart. You know why? Because people would drag things out of the closet. All right? I mean, his first two marriages, his first marriage ended while he was having an affair with his second wife. Okay? And his second marriage ended, he served his wife when she was in the hospital getting chemotherapy, because he was dating his present wife, So while he is very bright and he's got a doctorate in history, okay, he does. I guess he just doesn't want to put his wife through that again.
And he's old. He's getting old also.
Right. He's no spring chicken.
He's like 72 only. He's not.
Well, I mean, look, that's only a few years older than me. But the bottom line is, people know what their limitations are.
Yeah. So he basically pulled out. They said he told Trump he's not interested in any position.
He withdrew his name from any consideration for anything. Oh, but talk about consideration. Did you hear what Ben Carson said?
What?
Ben Carson, the same man who was running for president, correct?
Yeah.
Ben Carson contacted Donald Trump and said, and I quote, I don't have the experience or the know-how to run a cabinet post.